Hello! This is Junkyard Gear.
We're back. It's been at least 3 years, I think.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, but we're back and we plan to do regular content and we have quite a lot of junk to review. What did you bring, Adam?
This beautiful piece of gear is called Jolana Galaxis. He's making that face because he knows it.
Because we're Czech, and this guitar is made in Czechoslovakia in the year 1978. Jolana is like the traditional old communist brand of guitars, and this particular one is like the most hated model that Jolana ever produced. Even though the vintage revival of these old instruments happened, and a lot of Jolana guitars cost a fortune compared to what they used to cost like 10 or 20 years ago.
Yeah. Basically, all Jolanas used to be firewood in Czech Republic because they were so ubiquitous. You know, there were lots of them everywhere and everybody hated them because nobody knew how to set them up. Nobody knew how to use them properly for what they were made for. And basically, lots of them actually went up the chimney.
Plus, back in the days, there were no hipsters.
Yeah. And offset guitars like this, you can see clearly this is an offset, weren't so popular as they are now. So right now, amidst the offset guitars revival, this starts to be cool again. At least to us.
Galaxis is like the most mocked and most hated model of Jolana because everybody had one at some point in the history, and everyone remembers that it doesn't tune, that it sounds like crap, that it's nothing like Fenders or Gibsons. So this is like one of the few models that is still cheap until these days.
Yes.
This one is sort of special.
This one actually is from the first series of the Galaxis. So it's black, it's got matching headstock, it's got white plastics. When I was a little kid, I had one just like this, but with black plastics and natural headstock. And it was made in the early 80s. It was so awful that I was convinced that it was made deliberately this way. So it prevents kids from learning to play guitar, actually. You know, but it was really awful. And but this one somehow works, and it's kind of cool.
Since this was sort of a communist take on the Jaguars and Jazzmasters, we will compare it with a 1978 Fender Jazzmaster.
Yes.
Just to see which guitar is the better one.
Yeah.
I hope it's the Fender, but don't get us wrong. This guitar is cool and it's supposed to rock.
Yeah.
So let's check it out.
All right.
Okay.
There you go.
It did the Jolana thing, didn't it?
Yeah. All right, so
tell us something about the specs of the guitar. Like what woods is it made of? What kind of weird pickups is it? And what kind of really weird electronic setup we've got going on?
all right, so it's two really huge soap bar humbuckers enclosed in this weird plastic, and it's got rotary selector that works like this. Bridge, then a loose connection, then both, then neck. And it's kind of, you can see how it works. This is how I remember it from being a kid. Yeah. Then you have the controls, which at the first glance could appear like a traditional Les Paul style control, so like volume and tone for each pickup. But there's a twist.
Oh no.
The tone control doesn't work like regular tone control that on the fall it's bright and then it goes progressively like this. No. It's if you do it on the max, it actually splits the humbucker. This is how it sounds with the tone control on the max, the bridge pickup.
Do I get it correctly that this is single coil in the bridge position?
Yes.
Because you dialed the tone control
On 10.
On 10.
Yeah.
Okay, that's...
Let me back it up slightly. And now it's a humbucker. And the more I dial it back, the more humbucker it is until like 5, and then it muffles again.
Is it useful or is it crap?
Well, in a live environment, like you have to really watch the knobs. Good thing is they're pretty far away from my picking hand, so it's kind of all right. But when I was a kid and I was playing this model, I didn't have a clue what's happening. So I was like, why doesn't it work? Yes. So it was funny. And of course, this could be a kind of a hassle getting a certain kind of sound when you have like 2 knobs blending the coils in and out when using two pickups at once. So in the middle positions, you have like endless number of varieties you can get, you know. It's kind of cool. But if you do it in a live setting, in the dark, and everything can get like misaligned and everything, like, I don't know. When I was using this guitar on a live gig, I basically set everything just for the humbuckers, like at 8 or something like that, and then use just a bridge pickup.
And truth is that he actually used it live. I know it because I play bass in his band. We felt worried, like when he appeared with this guitar, because we kind of know what kind of nonsense it can be. But surprisingly, in the in-ears, like, everything was all right.
Yeah.
It was perfectly in tune and the sound was really cool, which was kind of a nice surprise to get this out of Galaxis. And of course, since then, it makes one wonder, like, how good this guitar really is, and that's pretty much why we are here today.
Yeah.
Because you have to compare it to something serious. If you want to come to some conclusion.
Yeah.
About the sound.
Exactly. I also thought that this video could be like sort of my apology towards this guitar, because I derided this guitar for years, not knowing what it's capable of. So tonight's the night to prove it. Another feature of this guitar is the bridge. At the first glance, this bridge looks like a normal like Jazzmaster or Mustang bridge with like individual saddles. You would probably think it's routed into the wood like on Jazzmasters or whatever guitar, but it's not.
It's floating bridge, right? I also am a proud Jolana owner, and when I bought my first Tornado, it was fine. Then I changed the strings and it was shit.
Because the bridge is not fixed to the body at all. It's like on our archtop guitars, it's just there and it's being held by the pressure of the strings. And it's the same here, but specialty of this guitar is that it doesn't have any contact with the wood whatsoever. It's just resting on the pickguard, which is pretty thick on this guitar.
But Like theoretically, this should kill the sustain, everything about it. It should be dead.
Yeah.
It's not. How is it possible?
There are two really small pieces of leather underneath those bridge posts. They hold it in place.
Okay.
I'm serious. Like, this is actually the good version of this guitar. My version of the guitar had two pieces of cloth, you know, so it dampens the sound even more. Like, the leather is the better tone choice. No, I'm really surprised it works, and it doesn't move at all. And like, I can use the vibrato like crazy, like it's fine.
What kind of sorcery is this? Oh my god. Like, it shouldn't work, but it does.
Then we have the vibrato that is sort of like on the Jazzmaster, but you don't have the locking feature that you have on a Jazzmaster, which I kind of never use. It's closer to like modern copies of the Jazzmaster made by Squire and other companies. And it works like a Jazzmaster vibrato. It just has like a little less range, and it's a little more heavy-handed, like less smooth to use, but kind of very usable. It's like...
That's decent.
Yeah, to my estimate, it works. Like I actually like it better than a Bixby. Another interesting feature of this guitar is that the radius of the fretboard is completely flat. Like it has like 30-inch radius or something like that. Like normally you would get 7.5-inch on a Fender guitar in that era, and this is like flat. This means like you can bend like crazy and the notes don't choke. Like. And it's in tune.
Okay, I get it. I'm starting to like the guitar.
Yeah. Another thing that is common on European guitars of this age is the 0 fret, which I don't care for, but it's there. One thing where the Jolana guitar company was really ahead of its time is the truss rod access. You can access and turn the truss rod from the front. It's kind of the same system that modern Music Man guitars use or other modern manufacturers. But it's here on a freaking communist guitar from 1978.
So it's sort of similar as vintage Fenders, but if you want to set a truss rod on a vintage Stratocaster, you have to disassemble the whole guitar.
Yeah,
right?
you have to take the neck off, turn it, put it back on again, tune it, see if it's fine, and repeat.
With this, you don't need no tools. You only need some sort of lever, right?
Exactly. And here we get to another cool feature of this guitar, which is common on every Jolana guitar from this era, and that's the screwdriver, which is actually a strap pin. Like you just unscrew it from here and here, and you can adjust your truss rod or your octaves or your pickup height or whatever.
Or
It's
something
really-
bad in your teeth.
or stab somebody, you know? It's really cool. And I wish some other modern guitar companies would bring this back. So that's what I really love about it. And final feature, which I kind of hated as a kid, but now I like it, is the string tree, the huge giant string bar that acts as a string tree that pushes down the strings. You know, this gives all the strings the same angle, and it helps you when putting the strings on. So, you know, on a regular vintage Fender, you would have to like bar the strings with your hand when pushing it through the vintage tuners.
Like, sometimes you could use an extra hand, right?
Yeah, exactly. Or capo. Like here, you don't need it. Of course, everybody took it away back in the day, but I find it really useful. And then there's the tuners, which are fine. Like they're comparable to like the CBS tuners from the late 70s. They're like plastics that look like metal, but they're plastic. So that's that. It's pretty light. The neck is maple with, I think this is a stained beech. Actually, it's not a rosewood at all. It's like a stained beech or something like that. And the body, I believe, is from poplar. You know, because it's light, it's fine. And I wish I knew how it sounded with the bridge bolted to the body like a normal guitar, but this is pretty cool. Like I like the percussiveness of it, and it's really interesting. It's a good alternative to like normal offset guitars. Really, it really is. Take a listen.
How do you like the ergonomics of the guitar?
Ergonomics wise, what I really hate are the bridge posts. See how high they are? Like they always get in the way when strumming. But that could be easily fixed if I would just like shim the neck to give it a bigger break angle. So this could be higher. Like it's fixable. I just didn't do anything to it. Like I bought it this way, including the stickers, and I just had to do a review of it.
How expensive was it?
Well, it cost roughly as like a nice dinner in Prague for one person.
Well, for a 1978 guitar that tunes and sounds all right, that's quite a good price, I would
That's
say.
nice, yeah.
But truth be told, most Galaxis guitars are probably not as good as this one, right?
Yeah, but
It may be fixable. It may be fixable.
Exactly.
Maybe the guys that hate Galaxis guitars are just wrong.
Like I was, like whenever I saw a Galaxis guitar appearing on like forums all over the internet, like, oh my god, it's an Eastern Bloc Jazzmaster. I'm like, you guys don't know what you're talking about.
It's not a Czechoslovakian Jazzmaster. It's crap, really.
Yeah, exactly. You weren't a kid in the 90s and you weren't stuck with these, you know. So, but the older I am, the more I appreciate it. It's in tune.
Now I'm really wondering how it will stand up against the original Jazzmaster, because at this point, especially in the distortion region, or truth be told, it was just 2 boosters cranked on max, right?
Yeah.
Your usual deal. It seemed really transparent, and it seems that it's handling the gain really well. The chords and their projection is just precise, I think.
It's just compared to its American counterpart from the same era. Of course, it had like many downsides. For example, like the fretwork isn't the nicest, and the material that Jolana used for all the metal parts, including the frets, it's pretty soft. So many guitars of this era, almost all of them, could use like a refret, like this one. So, but this is mostly fine if you don't play, I don't know, on 5th fret on the high E. It's like, well, you can play there if you like sitar. You can use it in a music context, like.
I'm calling to King Gizzard and Lizard Wizard right now. I think we have the guitar that you guys were interested in. What do you think?
Well, this is easier to play because you don't have the bridge posts sticking up and you can put your hand wherever you want. And also the neck feels nicer because it's not flat. And the fretwork is not so low as on this one. And of course it's not missing a piece of binding, but really I couldn't tell when I'm playing it, you know, I don't put my hand there. So... Of course, no sitar there, but it's not 100 times better than this one. I would say like this sounds more rubbery. Like you can tell that the bridge isn't connected to the wood at all. On this one here, like it resonates more. Like you play it and feel the vibrations, you know, in the neck and in the body, and it's like an adult version of this guitar, I would say, but it's not like it's completely better than this one, I would say.
I think it's clear that this is the superior guitar, and in most of the means it probably is. But I can imagine quite a lot of studio situations, for example, where I would prefer this one because the sound is not all over the place.
Yeah.
With it, like this is everywhere, in the bass, in the mids, in the highs, it's everywhere. Sometimes you need something more subtle.
Yeah, and more like mid-range focused, or like just specific part of the spectrum.
I think the sound of the Jolana is softer.
Yeah.
But I can imagine quite a lot of situations where I would prefer it.
Yeah, and it's really interesting with distortion. but we'll get to it later. So let's try a comparison with just bridge pickup on its own. I'm gonna use, this doesn't have humbuckers, so I'm just gonna use everything on 10 and just a single coil bridge pickup. And I'm gonna use the humbucker option of this so it matches the input better because this is the stronger pickups.
8 hours later.
Very long.
The sustain is not that bad.
It's not, but just on this string, like if you bend a note, like. Yeah, that's what I hated about it as a kid, but like now I'm old and I don't care about sustain as much as I care about percussion because I'm an adult. And I play in a band. The percussive qualities of these guitars are kind of important to me in the mix or in the band situation because you can hear every strum clearly even through lots of distortions. For example, I like this high gain Spooky 2 Fuzz. If a guitar is like strong and like compressed like Les Paul, it can just sound like a big like waveform sausage, but this makes it more like pronounced, so it's like. This is cool with the humbuckers, lots of mid-range and everything, but if you just do the single coil split, it's a. It can handle all this, and that's kind of funny. So let's try the same situation on the Jazzmaster.
Before we switch the guitars, it seemed interesting to me that even though the output of the Jolana guitar is clearly lower, I think it compresses more.
Really?
Yeah, I think that the output sound is much more compressed compared to the Jazzmaster, which is extremely dynamic, especially with the clean sound, right?
This could be tied down to the pickup's construction because what they really did in the Jolana was just take two of their older type ceramic single coils and stick them together in this huge case. That's why they're so big. And Jazzmaster's totally different, pickup construction than this one. I honestly like this better.
for this particular
use case,
a fuzzy riff in a garage song.
Yeah,
this has small fluff.
This is more articulate.
Yeah, it probably is. Actually.
It is.
And this is a marvelous Jazzmaster.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, it's from the late 70s. It's all original except for the refin and the state run bridge, which I consider an upgrade. And I really love, Jazzmasters from this era. But in a musical context, I think this is actually better in this case. Of course, Jazzmaster has many, other advantages for
I think that in some specific band situations, I would definitely consider using this
over this.
But that means I would put it against pretty much everything because like this is like the higher grade instrument. It's really good and it shines in all those like frequencies and the range and the dynamics and all the colorful wood and all this sort of stuff. This is something to it.
Yeah.
I would like to hear this on a record. And I might not care about this on the same record.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, we didn't try the neck pickup. I think neck pickup is the discipline where Jazzmaster really wins. So it's the classic thing. Right, and let's try a neck pickup on this beast. I would say, I know what's gonna happen, but let's hear it first.
Before you try, what do you think is gonna happen?
The neck pickup on this guitar has always been a pain in the ass for me when I was a kid, because it's much stronger than the bridge pickup, and it kinda sounds always like this. It sounds muffled, you know. So whatever you play, it sounds muffled, and whatever you use, it's borderline unusable, you know. But let's try it out. Let's put it in the single coil mode. So this is maxed. This is also maxed. All right, it's there. This is single coil mode on the neck pickup.
I kind of like the last riff. Like it compresses so deeply.
Yeah, because it's got so much bass content, excessive bass content in it, so it muffles everything. Like, and this is a single coil. And if I put it in humbucker mode, like back it up a bit. You know, I don't know, like. It makes everything a fuzz. Mm-hmm. It's kind of cool, but
it sounds
like you can't take it away. Like. You get more information in this than just the bass.
Yeah, like this sounds like a guitar. This sounds like quite an interesting effect.
Yeah, it's interesting.
But like I wouldn't play a regular part on this pickup. Yeah. No. I would never do that. But as an effect,
yeah, it's cool.
It was sort of interesting.
Yeah, and I think I owe an apology to this guitar from, you know, the old days. Mm-hmm. And I think it's completely usable. And, you know, in live situation, I would probably maybe change the bridge, because of the bridge posts, or just give it a tiny bit of better setup. But it holds tune amazingly, just like this Jazzmaster. I just think, these bridges and these vibratos of this type just get a lot of flack from people that don't know how to set them up, So this was barely set up, and this is set up properly by Mike Tech, but they both hold their tuning amazingly, It's just if you do what they're made for, or try to do what they're made for, it's fine.
We are at the end of this video. We wanted to show off what the most mocked Jolana is capable of, and I'm actually really surprised how usable and amusing to listen some of the parts were. And I'm as well really surprised that I would prefer it in some specific conditions against this, which is 100 times more expensive guitar, maybe.
Yeah.
This is a classic. This is the underdog. And I think the underdog survived this fight quite well. Maybe let us know your favorite Jolana guitars in the comments, and what do you think about this comparison? If it was even fair. I don't know. I don't know. But we were using the same hands, same effects, same amp, same setting of everything. So it was as fair as we can get.
Yeah. All right. So that's it. So please share, like, and subscribe, and see you next time. Bye.